Dear students, I Dr. Ajay Kumar here. Till now, I have finished video lectures up to gas power cycle, dealing all three types of cycles: auto cycle, dual, diesel cycle, and dual cycle. Now, the next video lecture is based on vapor power cycle. As you know, dear students, all cycles, whether it is gas power cycle or vapor power cycle, all these two cycles mainly are taken that is based on Carnot cycle. So our basic cycle is nothing but Carnot cycle. Right? Now basic cycle is Carnot cycle, but under vapor power cycle we deal with a Rankine cycle, which is a practical cycle. I will give reason why Carnot cycle, Rankine cycle is a practical cycle compared with Carnot cycle. So first, dealing with Rankine cycle, dear students, this Rankine cycle was suggested by William John Rankine. This was his lifetime. He was a professor of Glasgow University, UK, London. Under this Rankine cycle, here there is a schematic diagram during which a boiler is taken over here, during which heat is supplied Q1 by burning of fuel. Water gets heated and converts into steam, which is supplied to steam turbine. This steam turbine produces power, call it turbine work, and when this turbine shaft of this turbine rotates and coupled with electrical generator, electricity is produced. Right? Now after expansion in a steam turbine, the exhaust steam coming out and goes to condenser, where condensation of exhaust steam takes place. From outside to condenser, cooling water is supplied here and hot water going out like this. So during this, heat is rejected to this cooling water, that is your Q2. So after condensation, here at the outlet of condenser at point 3, we get condensate, that is condensed steam in the form of water. Right? And after condensation, it goes to a hot well just for storage purpose. After storing in this hot well, this water is supplied to boiler with help of a pump. We call it pump or feed pump, whereas a work is required to run this pump, WP, and in this way it is supplied to boiler again. So this is your cycle which keeps on running like this. So now dear students, all these processes are shown on TS diagram. This is, as you know, this whole is your property curve, whereas this is your critical point. This curve shows about liquid line having dryness fraction x is equal to 0. This is the curve showing vapor curve giving dryness fraction x is equal to 0. Dear students, who might be knowing dryness fraction or quality of steam, that x is quantity of dry steam divided by total mixture. This is very important parameter. Total mixture means quantity of dry steam plus quantity of water. This dryness fraction ranging from 0 to 1. This dryness fraction or quality of steam very important parameter in vapor power cycle ranging from 0 to 1. So therefore written here, if it's totally liquid lying on this curve, anywhere on this curve, that is in liquid form. Similarly, any point lying on this curve somewhere, it is in dry form. So we call it dry or dry saturated if dryness fraction or quality of steam is equal to 1. So this is about dryness fraction and liquid curve and vapor curve. So this cycle, Rankine cycle, is shown on TS diagram. That is, first let us go through expansion process 1 2 taking place in turbine. So in process 1 to point 1 and point 2 expansion process, so it is written over here. So this is your isentropic expansion taking place during which entropy remains constant, vertical line. Right, and now after expansion, point 2, that is at the outlet of turbine, always lies in wet zone. Dear students, please remember point 2 is lying in wet zone. Wet zone means this curve is for liquid, this curve is for vapor or steam. So in between liquid line and vapor line, point 2 lies. So we can say it is a in wet condition, means it is a mixture, it is having a mixture of water plus vapor particle or steam. Right, now at point 2, steam enters to condenser where condensation takes place. So process 2 to 3 is your condensation. So process 2 to 3 is your condensation process. So in Rankine cycle, due to condensation, it is designed in such a way that due to condensation, point 3 should lie on liquid curve, right? And then after perfect condensation, whole steam, exhaust steam is condensed into water and then it is supplied to pump for a pumping process taking place in process 3 to 4. So again it is isentropic compression vertical line on in TS diagram vertical. So students, please remember isentropic expansion takes place in turbine and isentropic compression takes place in pump, right? So after pumping feed water, we reaches to point 4. Outlet of pump is point 4. So point 4 is on TS diagram here. After this, after point 4, this water is supplied to boiler. So then from 4 to 1, that is your, we can say, outlet of boiler. This process 4 to 1 is given for heating of water to convert into steam, right? So now this whole part is divided into two parts, that is from this to this and then from this to this, right? So dear students, this part from here to here is called sensible heating. This process heating from here to here is sensible heating, and when it lie on this curve, then due to latent heat of evaporation, this is your latent heat of evaporation on HF on enthalpy chart. So due to this HFG, latent heat of evaporation, that water converts into dry steam locating on this vapor line. So right, so for in this whole process, heat is supplied from here to here, we call it sensible heating, and from this to this, latent heat of evaporation. So if it is asked what is the total amount of heat supplied to water, that is in boiler, so you should say heat supply from this to this, right, and from this to this. So this is your total heat supplied Q1, right. Same process is shown on HS diagram. This is your condenser pressure, this is your boiler pressure. So 1 to 2, this is HS entropy, isentropic expansion, and here it is 3 to 4 in pump, 3 to 4 in pump, that is isentropic compression. So from condenser pressure, water is supplied to boiler pressure. Right. Now, if you draw a Rankine cycle, because initially I told you our basic cycle is Carnot cycle, right? And then due to some limitations, Rankine cycle is made as a practical cycle, and why it is so. So students, look at here now. Carnot cycle on TS plane is nothing but like this. Complete a rectangular form. So 1, 2, 3 and here 4. So students, now look at question is why Carnot cycle is not a practical cycle. So students, please listen carefully. Process 2 to 3 is condensation process. 2 to 3 is a condensation process. So 2 to 3 in Carnot cycle a condensation process. Now students, look at point 3. Point 3 is lying in wet zone. Wet zone means it is a mixture of water and steam. So this mixture and water steam is going to be handled by this pump, right? So look at, if quantity of steam is more, it means a pump, let us say this is a impeller in a centrifugal one pump is like this. If it handles a mixture of non-homogeneous, I should say non-homogeneous mixture of water plus steam, right, it can't pump properly in this compressor, because first it is a non-homogeneous mixture, secondly the volume of this pump would be more, and therefore pump size or plant size, we can say it could be more, and due to this major difficulty, Carnot cycle is not used. This is the first major condition. Second major condition, at point 1 we are observing quality of steam is dry or dry saturated. If we are interested for a superheated steam, it means this point 1 should lie somewhere right to this curve. Let us say here 1 dash. So in place of 1, if we write here, let us say 1 dash for a superheated steam. Now Carnot cycle says that heat supply and heat supply and heat rejection should take place at constant temperature. So dear students, in this portion we have supplied heat, no problem, taking place at constant temperature. but this amount from this point 1 to 1 dash, this supply of heat taking place not at constant temperature. Now at point 1 temperature is somewhere here T1 dash. This T1 dash is more than T1. So here heat is not supplied at constant temperature, and therefore for super steam Carnot cycle is not valid. Right? So due to these two major limitations, Carnot cycle is not considered as a practical cycle. Right? And therefore this Rankine cycle is introduced for practical cycle, which is being used in all thermal power plant or steam power plant. Right? So dear students, this was the concept why Rankine cycle is introduced and why not Carnot cycle is a practical cycle. So dear students, now we'll move to calculate Rankine efficiency. So for calculating any one, first we should calculate how much heat is supplied. So heat supplied per kg of steam generated, that is Q1 is equal to H1 minus H4. Let us go to see once again TS diagram. Here heat is supplied, what I told earlier. Heat supply takes place just after pumping. Just after pumping. Just after here. So 4 to 1. So written H1 minus H4. H1 minus H4. Right? Now this H1 minus H4 we can write like this. H1 minus H3 minus H4 minus H3. H3 cancel. Right? So now H1 minus H3, and dear students, this H4 minus H3 is nothing but your pump work, that is 0.3 is here, 0.4 is here. So after pumping we can say H4 minus H3, output minus input. So H4 enthalpy, that is for water supplying H4 minus H3 is your pump work. So H4 minus A3 is your pump work. Right. Now dear students, heat rejected into the condenser. We have seen already Q2 is equal to H2 minus H3. Here heat rejected in condenser. Right. So H2 is higher coming out from turbine. So it could be H2 minus H3, that is equal to Q2. So it is written over here. So if once heat supplied is calculated and heat rejected is calculated, so net work done per kg of steam we can calculate like this. H1 minus H3 minus WP minus H2 minus H3. So it comes out like this. So H1 minus H2 is your turbine work, because in process 1 to expansion takes place. In process 1 to expansion takes place from 1 to 2. That is isentropic expansion. So we can say H1 minus H2 is your turbine work. So H1 minus H2 is your turbine work and pump work is written as it is. So dear students, please remember net work done, that is heat supplied minus heat rejected, that is nothing but turbine work minus pump work. So we can write net work done divided by heat supplied is your Rankine efficiency. So we can say net work done, that is your turbine work minus pump work, and heat supplied is your H1 minus H3 minus WP. Heat supplied is this one, H1 minus H3 minus WP. So it is written over here. So dear students, you should remember this figure now. Now P1 we know already, that is your boiler pressure. PB we call it back pressure, and specific volume is your V3. So in this way also we can calculate pump work, that is we know already whatever volume is sucked in the pump, only pressure increases from back pressure to boiler pressure, and henceforth VDP, night is your actually VDP. So volume remains same V3, and there is a pressure difference. V3.3 is here now, 0.3 which is entering to the pump. So whatever volume is sucked in pump, that is your V3, and pressure rises from condenser pressure to boiler pressure. So pressure difference is written boiler pressure minus condenser pressure. So in this way also we can write this pump work. This pump work is here, remaining thing already written. Now this pump work WP is very small compared to your turbine work H1 minus H2. So in some cases this is neglected, and due to neglecting pump work we can write efficiency of Rankine cycle is H1 minus H2, that is turbine work, right, and divided by H1 minus H3. H1 minus H3, because look at here, H1 is here after supplying heat to the boiler outlet of the boiler, and H3 is here now, right? Since now if this pump work is neglected, so directly we can write this one as initial one, and this is your final one. So H1 and this is H3. So on TS diagram, H1 is lying here, and temperature 3 is lying on liquid line, so H3. So actually this H3 will be equal to HF at condenser or back pressure. This is your condenser or back pressure, right? So those things we can write after neglecting pump work. So sometimes, dear students, in your numerical part it is written solve numericals with help of by neglecting pump work. Directly we can use this equation. Right, now dear students, another term called thermodynamic mean temperature of heat additions, right? So mean temperature of heat addition we can calculate heat added total and divided by change in entropy. So H1 minus H4, H1 that is after boiler, right, and this is H4 that is before entering to boiler. So H1 minus H4 divided by entropy, as you know, Q is equal to TdS, right? So heat added is your TdS. So change in entropy we can write this is your Q upon temperature, right? So this change in entropy is S1 minus S4, and since S4 is equal to H3 because isentropic compression. Look at here. This is your isentropic compression in pump. So S3 is equal to S4. So S3 is equal to your S4. S4 is equal to S3. So if pump work is neglected, so we can write H1 minus H3 and S1 minus H3. Pump work neglected means this H4 would be equal to your H3. Therefore, it is written if pump work neglected, thermodynamic mean temperature would be this one, right? And in terms of this mean temperature, Rankine efficiency is written in this way also. Right now, dear students, a very another important parameter, very important, we call it specific steam consumption, SSC or steam rate. So that is nothing but mass flow rate per hour divided by net, the word written net power output. If pump is introduced, then we should say net power, that is turbine power minus pump power, that is turbine work minus pump work. So here mass flow rate per hour kg per second, net power output is your kilowatt, right? So kilowatt you can write. As you know, dear students, 1 kilowatt hour, that is equal to 3600 kilojoule, right? So this we can write in this way, and the final unit is kg per kilowatt hour. So we can define a specific steam consumption, that is a quantity of steam to produce unit power kilowatt. So please students must remember, this is steam rate or steam consumption is a quantity of steam consumed, right, to produce unit power. So this is very important. Please remember 3600 divided by H1 minus H2. H1 minus H2 is your just enthalpy drop in isentropic process 1 to 2, that is in turbine, right? So I think so we can remember so easily. For calculating SSC, 3600 divided by H1 minus H2, right? And now another important parameter is work ratio. Work ratio is net work, there is a ratio of work, net work done to turbine work, right? Net work, that is again your turbine work minus pump work, right? Divide by turbine work, right? So this is also very important. And then finally relative efficiency or efficiency ratio, it is nothing but a ratio of thermal efficiency divided by Rankine efficiency, right? Now dear students, Rankine engine expansion we have seen in Rankine cycle when steam turbine is introduced. So in a steam turbine, that expansion is your isentropic, right? Now if you consider an engine, so for this engine it is clearly written when only the prime mover is a device which produces power. Both steam turbine and steam engines are producing power. So here we can see that steam engine on prime mover receives steam at a higher pressure and rejects heat after expansion at a lower pressure. And then efficiency is referred to the engine alone instead of the cycle. So instead of cycle, we can consider engine as well. So here this efficiency is known as Rankine engine efficiency. The pivot diagram is drawn over here. Here work of expansion is your H1 minus H2, where pressure falls from P1 to PB, that is boiler pressure to back pressure. So now Rankine engine we can calculate, that is turbine work or engine work produced divided by H1 minus HF2. HF2 is, dear students, is nothing but enthalpy of saturated liquid corresponding to back pressure. So this is nothing but, at back pressure we can say value of HF, which could be your HF2. Now in next video we'll see how so easily we can calculate pump work if only boiler pressure and condenser pressure or back pressure is given to you.